Well, hi to all of you. I'm Anna-Carin Lagerström, and I would like to thank you for the invitation to take part in your education day on sports and cardiovascular health for persons with spinal cord injury. I'm a physiotherapist, health educator, and nutrition counselor. I've been working through Spinalis Foundation for 25 years on projects on health promotion, and I worked as health coach at our SCI unit at Rehab Station Stockholm. This is all about healthy food and weight control for persons with spinal cord injury. And the reason why I'm here actually is this little folder here in Spanish. I will talk more about that in a little while. And I would like to inform you about this book, The Art of Healthy Living with Physical Impairments. It's actually written for persons with spinal cord injury, and there are lots of programs on physical activity and exercise, and it's free to download from our website. This is where I am. I'm up here in Northern Europe, actually in Sweden, in Stockholm, and our neighbor countries are Finland, Norway, Iceland, and Denmark. And together we have a sister association to you, which is NOSCOS, the Nordic Spinal Cord Society. This lecture is about nutrition and weight management for spinal cord injured persons and why specific guidelines are needed. And the thing is that the basic conditions are different between a person with spinal cord injury and the same person without spinal cord injury, and that has to do with the low energy expenditure. When this person has the same nutritional needs when it comes to protein, vitamins, and minerals, but less energy needs, which is calories. And that is the problem. This person, to have the same building blocks to eat healthy from nutrients, this person has to eat less calories, but that means also less food but healthier food. And this is an important but often missing part in the rehab programs. And this little folder or brochure, Food, Weight and Health for People with Spinal Cord Injury, is an educational teaching aid at an easy to read level. And I took the initiative to start a Nordic multi-professional network, which is called NutriNord, on education on nutrition for persons with spinal cord injury, because we thought that this information is very important. And this brochure is now available in 14 languages, all free to download from our website. And good nutrition is essential for good health for all of us, and that is something that we all know. And the Nordic nutritional recommendations are very similar to what we call Mediterranean food. And in short, it means that we should eat more vegetables and legumes, more fruit, and choose a healthier protein and not so much red meat, and choose not so much fats from animal fats. And sorry about that. So if healthy food is good for all people, it's especially important for persons with spinal cord injury. And that has to do that it helps prevent and treat common conditions as the ones that you can see here. And non-healthy food is what we call the modern or Western diet with highly processed food, which is high in sugar, salt, and fats, and with low nutrient density and high energy density. And specifically the fast carbohydrates that rises the blood sugar level, which activates insulin, which is a fat-storing hormone. So that is the reason why we have this huge, this pandemic of overweight and obesity in the world. And the Lancet made a list recently on obesity in adult populations in the world. And we can see that, and obesity is measured as if you have a body mass index over 30. And we know that this is a major health challenge, and it's actually all over the world. And also the countries like India, Namibia, and Botswana, where I have been lecturing, we have the same problem. And even though we all sit more in the whole world, but that is not really the problem. The problem is the highly processed foods, that the change in food patterns that we have. So that is a really a global challenge. And of course, if this is for the overweight and obesity rates are bigger in the whole world, it's of course even bigger, the proportion with overweight persons and obese person in spinal cord injury population, it's even larger. And that has to do with the reduced energy expenditure, with low muscle mass, which makes a decrease in basal metabolic rate, together with the low muscle function, decrease in physical activity. And when this person is physically active, it uses smaller muscles in the arms, and that makes a decrease in total energy expenditure. And together with, of course, if you eat more than you consume, you will gain weight. And together with often used medication, antidepressants, and some morphine preparations where they are weight gaining medications, and spasticity treatment, like baclofen, that gives you less energy expenditure, together with changed life situation and lost body sensation. There are some of the reasons why we have such a big proportion of overweight persons in our population. And I would say that in Spinali's clinic, I'd say like about 75% of all our patients would be overweight or obese. And in Sweden, we have the whole population, 50% are overweight, and like 14% of them are obese, which is a double in 25 years. And what are the problems related to that? But there are lots of problems, and you can see here the whole list. But what I would say as physiotherapist is that, sorry about that, it's the decrease in function that is problem. And that's why I engaged in nutrition and weight issues, because this is the big problem. You would say that for every added kilo, which is not muscle mass, it's fat mass, you have a less good function. And that as a physiotherapist, I could see that, and that we need to address our patients about this. So our message is keep an eye on your weight for greater mobility, independence, and well-being. And it's no matter if you don't need to be specialized in nutrition. You can, if you're a physiotherapist, occupational therapist, nurse, doctor, tell your patients, keep an eye on your weight, and don't drink sugary drinks, for instance. And we use a lot of weight screening. So I think all rehab clinics in Sweden, there are now scales for wheelchairs, and we measure weight in all follow-ups lifelong and keep the data in the patient file. And we once measure the wheelchair and clothing, and then you don't need to do that every time. It's easy to measure weight, and also make the scale accessible for self-administration. And if you shall only remember one slide from this presentation, this is the most important one. And that is that in the beginning, after a traumatic spinal cord injury, the patient will lose a lot of weight, muscles and fat mass. And that is a catabolic situation. The body is trying to repair itself and takes the available energy. So that is, if this goes on, the patient will die. So it's extremely important to switch to an anabolic upbuilding situation. And the patient gets better, she feels more healthy and have more appetite, and has more appetite. But of course, what you need to say is here to these persons that, hey, it's good that you gained weight, but now you need to flatten the curve, because otherwise you will get overweight. And we know that most people, they get overweight in very short time, just in a couple of years. And if you have a bigger weight, larger weight than before your injury, this is called hidden overweight, because you can't see it. And if you are here, you have a spinal cord injury, if you are here, just to flatten this curve, you know that you meet your energy needs exactly, and that is very, very good. And you make a big health, a good thing for your health. So you need to adjust your fuel intake to a smaller engine. The engine is actually your physical activity together with your muscle mass. And that depending on who you are and the level of your injury, your healthy weight is different, and also how much energy you can have. And we know that physical activity and the exercise is the best pill for overall health, but it's not really a method to lose weight, though it helps. It makes it easier to maintain weight. It gives some space to eat a bit more, gives better appetite control, of course, strength and independence, but it affects also sense of well-being and motivation. And that leads to better compliance to dietary recommendations and lower energy intake, which leads to weight control. Because many people think that one needs to be physically active to lose weight, but we know that that is not so. So I use the health dialogues. That's my best tool when it comes to patient coaching, and also the group settings. And when I ask people, how did you do to lose weight? This is the answers I get. I have lost weight by eating better and less. I skipped junk food and anything containing sugar. I tried to eat regularly, drink water to my meals, and eat more vegetables. My transfers are easier. I feel better. No more constipation. Of course, this seems easy. We all know that this is not easy, but it works. So my message to you is that overweight in spinal cord injury is not given, and help avoiding overweight, be proactive, and involve all care categories in this, and keep it simple. It's not rocket science. And I would like to thank Marcos, who financed the translation of this brochure, and Guillermo, and you made a big job in making the cultural, taking responsibility for cultural adaptation to this and distribution. And for updates, and if you want to have the references to the list, to the full brochure, just contact me. And thank you.